Life after the final rose exposed. Were you fans of Ben and Lauren from season 20 of The Bachelor? I sure was, and I was a fan of the show, fan of both of them. And I hate to say it, but I totally had Lauren. I had you picked from the beginning, so I'm very excited to welcome you both today to the Morning Blend. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi. I think Bachelor fans, we always imagine ourselves and what it would be like to be on the show. And perhaps watching this season back, the experience had to be good for you guys because you signed up for it again, but this time together.
Yeah, I think that was the key, is as long as we could do it together, all was good.
Oh, and I love the idea that this show is going to talk about you guys settling into your new normal. And this is something we haven't really seen from Bachelor couples. So what are some of the highs and lows you've experienced post-Bachelor?
Gosh, there's been a lot of highs. I mean, moving to Denver was great, but then there's also some challenges that presents. You know, moving to a new city, making new friends, going through all of those changes. You know, I also had to look into a career change, so that in itself was hard.
I was going to say, what about you, Ben? Any highs or lows? Trying to merge your two worlds together?
You know, mostly highs. It has been interesting, and it has been sometimes difficult, and I'm trying to get better as a partner, as a fiance, because you know, sometimes I struggle because you're starting life with somebody, and I've never really done that before. But I think, you know, we've been working through things, and overall it's such a good experience, and it's beneficial for me, and I hope it's beneficial for Lauren.
Yeah. Finding out the real story there. She shakes her head, yes. But, you know, I did want to ask you, Lauren, we're on this new show, you're including some of your Bachelor friends, for instance, the twins coming back. Of course, I'm talking about Haley and Emily Ferguson. But it seems like the friendships that really come out of this show are sometimes stronger, not in your case, but sometimes stronger than the romantic relationships.
Yeah, definitely. The group of women for me, I mean, when you're away from your family, you're away from your friends, you're in this strange situation, and really the only people there for you to rely on are the other women, and I developed a lot of really close friendships through that and spent a lot of time with them, and those friendships have continued to progress after The Bachelor. And I think some people think it's weird, but Ben had a lot of great women on his season, and I was thankful to become really close with a lot of them.
And, you know, and I'm curious, too, Ben, watching the shows back, and again, we talked about at the beginning of this interview that you're doing this again, so it must not be too terrible of an experience. What was that like, revisiting it? And I know the season kicks off here on this show, kind of going back to some of the issues that perhaps arose at the end of the season. Yeah,
so the question is, what was it like watching The Bachelor back?
Yes, I mean, in the sense that I know you guys kind of touch on that here at the beginning of this show as well.
Yeah, it's difficult, I think, but it's not as difficult as I think people probably assumed. I was really happy. I was excited for the whole season to air and get over with so I could be public with my beautiful fiance. But instead, we did have to watch it back, and that's just a tough experience in itself. You know, the emotions of it, though, I wasn't necessarily still tied to, because I had moved on, and I was in a relationship with Lauren. But, you know, even the start of this season, like you said, like those questions were still, you know, present in our lives on what do you feel about JoJo? And I hope this series answers that, you know, it answers that JoJo's moved on, and that I've moved on, and that Lauren's moved on, and Jordan obviously is in the picture now. And I hope this series kind of shows all of those and helps people also understand that, hey, even though they dated, or even though they tried to see if things were going to work with them, they can still be friends, and they can still have a respect for each other.
Okay, well, thank you both so much. We really appreciate you spending your time. Once again, the new Bachelor spinoff, Ben and Lauren, Happily Ever After, will air Tuesdays on Freeform. Thank you again.